Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing something really special. I am going to be reviewing my most anticipated book of 2021, and that was Shade by Chad Nicholas. I first came across Chad when he messaged me on Goodreads asking me to read and review his first novel called Nightmare. At first I thought that it was a bit of a wind up, but I read the book and I absolutely loved it. I think that there's kind of a stigma or something attached to people reading unknown authors for the very first time. We go into it thinking that, okay, they aren't going to be as good as the big players, the people that are really been writing horror for many years and they're really well known. And these small writers that come along, no, they won't be that great. They'll be average at best, and there won't be anything interesting. But when I read Nightmare last year, I think it was last year anyway, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, and it was creepy as hell. So if you haven't read Nightmare, I would highly recommend that one. But we aren't here to talk about Nightmare. No, no, no. We are talking about Shade, which is Chad Nicholas's second novel, which came out on the 5th of October of this year. So unlike Nightmare, which is a psychological horror novel, Shade is a crime thriller. So before I tell you what the story is all about, I'm just going to say that I am going to be giving away 2 free copies of Shade. Yes, I'm going to be doing my first ever giveaway, and these are going to be 2 free copies. In order to participate in this giveaway, you would only have to be a subscriber to my channel. And you don't even have to be a booktuber in order to enter. Your channel can be about anything, such as movies, and even your channel doesn't even have to have any videos in order to enter. All I ask is that you are subscribed to my channel, and that's all you have to qualify in order to enter this giveaway. If you want to participate in this giveaway, just comment down below the words giveaway, and then I will put your name into the pot, and then I will leave this open until the rest of October. So I will leave it open until the 31st of October, and then on the 1st of November I will announce the winners. And this can be any version of the book that you want, any physical version that is. It can be a paperback or a hardback version, but I will discuss that with the winners when I announce them on the 1st. So before I tell you what Shade is all about, let's just go straight over to the author now, Chad Nicholas, the man himself, and he will be telling you a little bit about himself as an author and where he got his inspiration and his ideas for this wonderful and unique novel.
Hey, my name's Chad Nicholas, and David was really cool and asked me if I'd film a little video where I talk about Shade and kind of where I got the idea from and kind of what about it was appealing and fun to write and kind of just why I enjoyed the story. So yeah, I thought that sounded really cool. I was really grateful that he wanted me on his channel. So yeah, first, my name's Chad Nicholas. I am the author of Nightmare, which released last year. It was my debut novel. It was a psychological horror, and it was very different from Shade in some ways, but it kind of had the scarecrow and the crows and everything in it, so it's kind of it was the first book I wrote, so I still like how it turned out. But the one that I'll talk about today is Shade. And so Shade, first off, to kind of do the thing, Shade is a crime thriller with some horror elements and also some strong elements of action. So the story basically focuses on 2 detectives who are hunting down a serial killer, and the story alternates between them hunting the serial killer and then the present timeline, which is set in the aftermath of the case and kind of what happened after the case was over and the cost of the hunt and everything. So that's kind of what it's about. But as far as where the idea came from, it was actually the first full book idea that I had, and the first idea that got me excited where I was like, maybe I should write something. And I've always really liked the kind of one-man army action story. I'm a big fan of John Wick, The Punisher, Rambo, all those types of stories. So I was sitting there thinking about how much I liked them, and I was like, I wondered if you could do one where rather than the person who could kill 20 people being the good guy who's trying to protect the person, have it be the one coming after them. So that way, if you have an action scene where they fight 20 people or so, it's not like, yay, the hero shot 20 people, it's, oh crap, this person just killed 20 people. The actual good people of the book are about to die because the one who can fight is a villain. So I thought that seemed like a cool idea to me, so I kind of started thinking about it in my head and where you could go with it, and then I had another idea for kind of the ending, so I can't say exactly what it was, but it kind of tied into detectives and serial killers and stuff, and I thought that would make a really cool backstory for the villain and the heroes of the action story that I'd kind of outlined. So I started outlining the detective side of it too, and when I was doing it, I really liked how both of the two aspects of the story were like working out. So I decided to make it a dual timeline, so it alternates between one chapter in the past, hunting the serial killer, one chapter in the present, with more the action-centric, more action thriller plot. So I really liked in the outline how it kind of flipped back and forth, and that was one thing I was really relieved because I was really nervous about writing the dual timeline because I wanted to do some cool things with it, especially at the end, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it in a way that like worked at all, but I think I was happy with how it ended up turning out. But so that's kind of where I got the idea for the book from. Like I said, the main inspirations for some of the action was John Wick, Punisher, those types of action movies. And for the detective side of things, I kind of looked at some of my favorite detective stories like Seven, Zodiac, The Long Halloween, things like that, where it's like a longer, grueling case that detectives are trying to solve. And that really worked too. And then some of the other stuff that I just thought was cool because I had the two timelines. The original detective case didn't have to like tie everything up in a neat and perfect bow because I had the present day that would do that for it. So I got to do some things with the serial killer and with the case that I thought were really cool. And that were like small changes to what normally happens, but stuff that I got really excited for and I thought it was fun to write, where like not necessarily everything about the case would just necessarily become okay even when the serial killer's found and stuff. So I got to do some of that stuff too, and I don't want to go into too much without spoiling anything, but that's kind of where the idea came from, and that's why it was fun to write for me, because I really enjoy writing, and my favorite thing is just trying to write a scene and trying to write a story that, like, if I was reading, I would think it was cool. So I got to do a lot of that in this. I really like all of the genres that this book kind of exists in, so it was kind of fun to combine some of them, and I really enjoyed writing it. So if you like action or crime thriller or something, it might work for you, and if so, that'd be really cool. But yeah, so, and thanks again, David, for having me on your channel. It's really an honor to be asked to be here. So yeah, and take care, everyone.
Thanks for that, Chad, and I will have a bunch of contact information down in the description, so please do not hesitate for a moment to contact Chad. He is a really friendly and unique person. So as always, this is going to be a spoiler-free book review, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. So as I said, Shades is a crime thriller, and it has two timelines. One that's set in the past and one that's set in the present, and as the book goes on, it jumps from the respective timelines. So in the past, we find out that there is a character called Jack Diamond, or Agent Jack Diamond, and he is our main character, or one of our main characters, through the present and the past. And he and his partner in crime, or the person who he's working with, is called Shades. Yes, he's the character that's named after the book. Shades and Jack are trying to uncover the mystery of a mysterious serial killer called the Surgeon. Now, the Surgeon is going around hunting down and killing women and Jack and Shade are trying to figure out why he's doing this, how he's picking out his victims, and all that type of stuff. Along the way, the surgeon is leaving all these taunting messages and trying to get under Jack's skin, which he actually does, and saying, oh well, you'll never catch me, and this is all your fault, this is actually why this is happening, and all that type of stuff. Jack and Shade have a real good relationship. They are really tight as a duo. They play off each other really, really well. And we find out that also Shade had, or actually was, in the army. He was a military man. And as a result of this, he saw all these things and it messed with his mind, and he has been left with all these visions that are constantly tormenting him throughout this book. He sees quite frequently all of the people that he could have saved during his military career, and they are constantly asking him, why didn't you save us? And this kind of drives him mad, although he kind of plays it off, saying, oh, you know, I'm alright, Jack, don't actually worry about me, I'm fine. But when he can actually see all these people, but he tries to suppress it. So in the present, we are still following Jack Diamond as he is trying to apprehend this mysterious killer. They seem to have this uncanny ability to not be apprehended and not be injured. They seem to be in situations where there are all these armed FBI agents and policemen around, and they completely get slaughtered. I remember watching Chad's clip, and he kind of described this figure as a kind of like a Rambo or a John Wick type of character, but while I was reading it, I got in my mind like this was maybe a kind of a Terminator or a Michael Myers or even the Jason Voorhees type of character. As even when you're reading it, both you as the reader and the characters have no idea where this person is or what they will do, or even if they will survive this encounter with this strange figure. But with that said, this figure isn't immortal. They can be injured. And as we are reading the book, we find out that there is a connection between what's happening in the present and what happened in the past. There is a connection. I won't tell you what the connection is, as I don't want to spoil. I've been trying to be super vague in this video, as I want you to go into it with the bare bones information and just to read it and experience it and enjoy it for yourself. This was kind of a slow burn, but I really enjoyed it. And also, while Jack is investigating or trying to find out about this strange serial killer in the present timeline, we find out that they are doing this because they have in their mind that if they kill these specific victims, that it will give them some sort of peace and it will release them from some torment that they feel within themselves. So that is what drives this mysterious new serial killer. So that is basically all I want to give you guys. As I said, I would highly recommend this. Do not go into this thinking, oh, it's going to be exactly like Nightmare, it's going to be horror. Yes, it does have horrific scenes. Yes, as I said, there is loads of scenes where there is loads of fighting, and yes, people do get killed. There's blood and people die in this book, and it can be very horrific, but it isn't a horror book. It does have horror elements and twists and splashes to it, but at its core it is a crime thriller, which I thought that was a really nice thing for Chad to actually do, because I'm not sure if he wants to be typecast as a horror writer, which is nothing wrong with that. I know that he said that he had the idea for Shades before Nightmare, but he wanted to write Nightmare before Shades. But whether you read Nightmare or Shades, they are both really, really good books. So what I liked about this book is I liked how it was a crime thriller, as I don't really read that much of crime thrillers nowadays. I liked the characters. I liked the both the serial killers, both the surgeon that was in the past timeline and also the current serial killer, which is in the present timeline. And I liked obviously not knowing, are they over there, or are these people going to get out alive, or what's going to happen? So I was on the edge of my seat. I wanted them to actually know what happens. I also like in this book about how also an element of good and evil is brought up in this book. It's questioned in this book like it was in Nightmare. Like, Chad has the ability to like put good and evil on the table and like question it, saying, right, is good and evil as black and white as we think it actually is, or is there more of a grey in between area? I mean, what makes a person good and what makes them bad? When it comes down to it, guys, if you think about it, it's their perspective. A bad person probably won't think that they are a bad person. It's just that what they're doing is perceived as being the wrong thing to actually do. And what I disliked about this book was very minor. It did drag a bit in places, and at times I was thinking, okay, this is good, but where is it ultimately going? It did seem a little bit repetitive in the end, or at times. But as I said, that was a very minor, and I can put that down to me being maybe a little bit impatient and wanting to actually know about how the story was ultimately going to end up. So in conclusion, if you haven't read anything by Chad Nicholas, whether it's his first novel, Nightmare, which I have done a whole video on, and I will have a link down below in case you want to check out that video, or if you haven't read Shade and you aren't sure whether it's your cup of tea or not, Chad's writing style is really easy and simple to understand and read, and his characters are really, really good. And I'm not just saying this because Chad is a good friend of mine and I'm just doing this to make him happy. No, guys. This is my honest thoughts and review for Shade. So I said to him, look, if this book is bad, then I will say so. But this book wasn't as good as Nightmare. Yes, I said it. This book is slightly below Nightmare, but only slightly. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is a bad book. It isn't. This is a really good read. But I would recommend this book not just to horror fans and not just to people that want to read something creepy during the Halloween season, as this is a very appropriate thing to read during October, but to also people that want to read something a bit different from a author that is not as well known as like the big hitters like Stephen King and Clive Barker. So I am going to rate Shade by Chad Nicholas a 4 stars out of 5. And as I said, do not forget about the giveaway, guys. If you want to enter this giveaway where you can win 1 copy of Shade, all you have to do, as I said, is comment down below the words giveaway, or that you want to be like put into this giveaway. Just make it extremely obvious that you want to participate in this giveaway, and then I will put your name into the pot, and then on the 1st of November I will pick out blindly 2 winners. So that's it, guys. That is my review for Shades by Chad Nicholas. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know if you have read this book, if I've maybe inspired you to pick this book up, and also if you are interested in doing the giveaway. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you do, please click on that bell as it will remind you whenever I upload videos, which are every Monday and Friday. I will also have a link down below to my Goodreads account in case you want to follow me on Goodreads and see what I'm reading. And with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.